From the moment I was born, my parents had a vision of perfection. Unfortunately, that vision didn't include me. It belonged to my younger sister, Molin. She was their pride, their joy, their masterpiece, while I was just there. For years, I accepted that my life would always be cast in her shadow. She was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong, who turned every glance into admiration and every opportunity into success. She walked into a room, and it became hers. She won spelling bees, science fairs, and talent shows as effortlessly as breathing. In high school, she was prom queen, valedictorian, and student body president. Tall, slender, stunning, she even dabbled in modeling while earning her business degree. My parents adored her, showcased her, celebrated her every achievement. Her first professional modeling photo still hangs above the fireplace in their home, a shrine to her excellence. And me? I was the afterthought. I earned a degree in computer science, a respectable field, yet it barely warranted a nod of acknowledgement. When I walked across the stage at my graduation, the applause was muted, drowned beneath the preparations for Molin's next photo shoot. When I landed a stable job as a software developer, it was nothing more than another line in the script of their indifference. Even my body was a source of disappointment for them. I was shorter, Kavya, far from the sculpted elegance of my sister. My mother never missed an opportunity to remind me of that. She signed me up for fitness classes I never wanted, put me on diets I never asked for. "You could look as nice as Molin if you just put in a little more effort," she would say. Over time, I learned to tune out the criticism, but its weight remained. So, I stopped trying. In my mid-20s, I decided that if my achievements were never going to matter to them, I would find people to whom they did. I built a life of my own, surrounded by friends who valued me for who I was. And then I met him. At a tech conference, through a mutual friend, I found someone who saw me, not just as an accessory to a family narrative, not as a shadow to someone else's light. He loved my wit, my intelligence, my dry humor. He loved me. Not once did he compare me to anyone. Not once did he suggest I should be anything other than what I was. After 4 years, he proposed, not in some grand, orchestrated event designed for public approval, but in the quiet comfort of our home, over takeout and laughter. It was perfect. I told my parents, expecting maybe, just maybe, a flicker of happiness. Instead, there was silence. Then, my mother's voice, cool and detached, *, "Are you sure you want to rush into this? Maybe you should work on your figure first." *, My father said nothing at all. Their absence at my wedding should not have surprised me. And yet, when I walked down the aisle, a part of me still searched for them. The empty seats in the front row were a wound that ached in ways I hadn't anticipated. My mother-in-law, with warmth I had never known, held my hands as we planned the wedding, as I chose my dress, a simple, elegant A-line gown that made me feel beautiful. When my father should have danced with me, I stood alone. After the honeymoon, I reached out to them. I wanted to understand, to hear their excuse. My mother's response was instant outrage. *, How could you exclude us? We never even received an invitation. *, It was a lie. We had sent both digital and physical invitations, confirmed their receipt, followed up multiple times. But this wasn't about an invitation. This was about control. The truth became painfully clear. I had broken the script. I had done something unthinkable. I had gotten married before Molin. I, the overlooked, the lesser, the one never meant to outshine her, had stepped ahead. And they couldn't bear it. When Molin's engagement was announced, the contrast was glaring. My parents, who had ignored my wedding, were suddenly bursting with excitement. They boasted about extravagant venues, designer gowns, mother-daughter shopping trips, moments I had been denied. But something had shifted in our family. Relatives who had once stayed silent now whispered about the unfairness, about the cruelty of my parents' favoritism. And slowly, people began pulling away from Molin's wedding. The golden image was fracturing. My parents called furious. "You're ruining Molin's wedding." But I had done nothing except tell the truth. The truth, as it turned out, was enough. And then Molin herself reached out. A carefully worded message, laced with condescension. Asterisk, what you said to our parents was inappropriate. You cannot blame them for your insecurities. Just because your wedding wasn't what you envisioned doesn't mean you need to sabotage mine. Asterisk, I didn't reply. There was nothing to say. But silence wasn't something Molin could tolerate. She did the unthinkable. She texted my husband. She called him new to the family and implied he should help manage me better. She spoke to him as if he were an ambitious social climber, as if my parents' approval was a prize worth winning. Surely you understand that maintaining good relationships with successful family members like myself could be beneficial for your future. My husband laughed. She really doesn't know me at all, does she? We read the messages together, and for the first time in my life, I felt nothing but amusement at her manipulations. She was still the same girl who had tried to turn my friends against me in high school. Different decades, same tactics. The difference was, I no longer cared. His response was perfect. Asterisk, as her husband, I support Rebecca's happiness, not manage her behavior. If you have concerns, you should speak with her directly. Have a nice day. Asterisk, her final text was filled with bitterness. Asterisk, I see she's poisoned you against the family, too. Don't say I didn't try to help. Asterisk, but I didn't need her help. I didn't need their validation. And for the first time, I knew that. My parents continued their campaign, calling relatives, twisting the story, painting themselves as victims. Yet with every desperate attempt, they revealed more of the truth. Relatives who had once stayed neutral began speaking up. Uncles and aunts who had quietly witnessed years of favoritism withdrew their support. My father's own brother, always diplomatic, apologized to me. I should have said something years ago, he admitted. We all should have. And so, their carefully curated image crumbled, not because of any grand act of revenge, but simply because the truth no longer had anywhere to hide. I won't be at Molin's wedding. Not because I am bitter or angry, or seeking retribution, but because I no longer feel the need to prove myself to people who never saw me to begin with. As I sat with my husband on our back porch, watching the sun dip below the horizon, he squeezed my hand. They'll never change, will they? I asked. No, he said. Asterisk, but you have. And that's what matters. Asterisk, for the first time, I felt free.